and live by rules the world laughs at today. But those same rules give them the freedom everyone else spends a lifetime chasing. There is a strange belief in the world today. People think success must be loud. They believe wealth has to be displayed. They think if nobody notices your lifestyle, then maybe you haven't made it yet. But let me tell you something. The richest lesson you will ever learn is this. Wealth whispers. Insecurity shouts. Too many people spend money trying to convince strangers that they're successful, while truly successful people spend their time protecting the future they are building. You see, I have watched people work overtime just to afford things they barely use. I've seen families carrying the weight of debt just to impress people who won't even remember what they drove 6 months later. And I've seen young men and women chasing luxury before they've built stability. The problem isn't wanting nice things. The problem is buying symbols instead of building security. Imagine planting a fruit tree. The foolish man keeps digging it up every week to show everyone the roots. The wise man waters it quietly. Years later, one man still has empty hands, while the other has an orchard feeding generations. Money works the same way. Every dollar has a job. The question is whether you're spending it to work for your future or sending it away to entertain your ego. That's one difference many wealthy people understand. They don't ask, "Can I buy this?" They ask, "Should I buy this?" There's a world of difference between those two questions. Anybody can spend. Very few people know how to delay gratification. Delayed gratification isn't punishment, it's power. Because every time you tell yourself, "Not today," you are giving your tomorrow another chance to become stronger. People often think discipline feels good. It doesn't. Discipline feels uncomfortable today. Regret feels uncomfortable forever. You have to choose which discomfort you're willing to carry. Think about this. When a millionaire walks into a store, he doesn't suddenly lose his ability to say no. Money doesn't remove discipline. Money rewards discipline. Many people imagine that rich people wake up every morning looking for ways to spend. The truth is often the opposite. They spend countless hours thinking about how to protect what they've already built. Because making money is one skill. Keeping it is another. Growing it is a completely different game. And that's the game few people ever learn. Here's something nobody tells you. Poor decisions don't always look poor. Sometimes they arrive wrapped in luxury packaging. Sometimes they come with applause. Sometimes they earn thousands of likes online. But likes don't pay bills. Applause doesn't build retirement. Attention doesn't create freedom. Only wise decisions repeated consistently can do that. There was once a man who bought a brand new luxury car the very week he received his biggest promotion. Everyone celebrated him. Photos filled social media. Compliments poured in. But behind closed doors, his monthly payments stole his peace. Every vacation became impossible. Every unexpected expense became a crisis. Every paycheck already belonged to someone else before it even arrived. Now let me tell you about another man. He received the same promotion. He kept driving his reliable old vehicle. His friends laughed. Some called him cheap. Others wondered why he wasn't enjoying his success. 5 years later, he owned rental properties. His investments produced income while he slept. His children had college funds. His family slept peacefully because emergencies no longer frightened them. Now tell me, who was truly rich? That's the trap society sets. People celebrate appearances. Life rewards preparation. You must decide whose applause you're living for. One lasts seconds. The other lasts generations. You know what wealthy people understand better than most? Every purchase carries two prices. The first price is the amount on the receipt. The second price is every opportunity you lose because that money can no longer grow. That second price is invisible, but it is almost always the bigger one. $1,000 invested wisely has the potential to become many thousands over time. That same $1,000 spent trying to impress strangers disappears the moment you swipe your card. One choice creates options. The other creates memories that fade. Real wealth isn't about owning the newest phone. Real wealth is owning your time, because once money begins working for you, something incredible happens. You stop selling every hour of your life just to survive. Freedom begins quietly. It begins with one decision, one saved dollar, one investment, one unnecessary purchase avoided. People often ask why some families stay wealthy, generation after generation. The answer isn't magic, it's habits. Children don't simply inherit money, they inherit attitudes toward money. If a child grows up watching parents buy everything they desire immediately, they'll often repeat that cycle. But if they grow up watching patience, budgeting, generosity, investing, and planning, they'll carry those lessons for the rest of their lives. Wealth isn't just transferred through bank accounts, it's transferred through behavior. Every financial decision you make today is teaching someone something. Even if you don't have children, your friends, your family, your coworkers, they're watching. People notice consistency. They notice wisdom. They notice peace. And peace is something money alone can never purchase. Because there are wealthy-looking people who can't sleep. And there are quietly wealthy people whose greatest luxury is a peaceful night's rest. Never underestimate the value of sleeping without fear, without worrying about debt, without wondering how next month's bills will be paid. That peace doesn't arrive because of luck. It arrives because of choices made long before anyone noticed. Remember this, the world teaches consumption. Successful people often practice creation. They create businesses. They create investments. They create opportunities. They create value. Consumers ask, what can I buy? Builders ask, what can I build? That single question changes everything. If you're always buying things that lose value, eventually your finances will do the same. But if you spend your energy creating things that produce value, your future begins changing in ways you never imagined. Nobody becomes financially free by accidentally making wise decisions. Freedom is intentional. It is built one ordinary day at a time, one disciplined choice after another, one quiet sacrifice after another, and one faithful habit after another. Here's what I want you to remember today. Stop trying to look rich. Start trying to become financially unshakable. Because one is a costume. The other is a character. Costumes fade. Character compounds. The greatest investment you will ever make isn't in a stock. It isn't in real estate. It isn't even in a business. It's in becoming the kind of person who can build wealth, protect wealth, and use wealth wisely. Because if you become that person, even if life knocks you down, you'll know how to rise again. Money may come and go, but wisdom keeps bringing it back every. Truly successful life has a moment that nobody applauds. A moment when a person quietly decides that enough is enough. Enough pretending. Enough buying things they don't need. Enough chasing approval from people who have no influence over their future. That decision doesn't happen in a shopping mall. It happens in the mind. Because wealth is built long before it ever appears in a bank account. It begins with the way you think. You see, most people believe their paycheck is the problem. But many times it isn't the paycheck. It's the habits attached to it. Give a careless person more money, and they'll simply make bigger mistakes. Give a disciplined person more money, and they'll create greater opportunities. Money doesn't change character. It reveals it. Think about a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You can pour water into it all day long, but unless you repair the hole, it will never stay full. Many people are living exactly like that bucket. Every raise disappears. Every bonus vanishes. Every tax refund is gone before they even understand where it went. Not because they didn't earn enough, because they never learned how to keep enough. The wealthy understand something simple but powerful. Income matters, but habits matter more. There are people earning modest salaries who steadily become financially secure, and there are people earning fortunes who somehow remain broke. Why? Because wealth is not measured by what comes in. It is measured by what stays. There was an elderly gentleman who had quietly accumulated enough wealth to retire comfortably decades earlier. His neighbors had no idea. He still mowed his own lawn. He still repaired things instead of replacing them immediately. He still compared prices before making purchases. Some people assumed he couldn't afford more. The truth was exactly the opposite. He could afford almost anything because he had spent years refusing almost everything unnecessary. That is a lesson worth remembering. Just because you can buy something doesn't mean you should. Real power is having choices. Every unnecessary expense quietly steals one future choice away from you. It steals flexibility. It steals freedom. It steals peace. People often think wealthy individuals enjoy saying yes, but many of them became wealthy because they mastered saying no. No to impulse. No to pressure. No to comparison. No to temporary excitement. Those small no's eventually became a very large yes to freedom. Comparison is one of the most expensive habits in the world. Someone buys a bigger television. Now you want one. Someone posts pictures from an expensive vacation. Now your vacation suddenly feels too ordinary. Someone drives a newer car. Now yours somehow seems old overnight. But here's the truth. The race of comparison has no finish line. Every time you catch someone, another person appears ahead. You'll spend your whole life running and never arrive. The rich don't spend like that because they understand that comparison is a business designed to keep consumers consuming. Advertising has one purpose: to convince satisfied people that they are suddenly missing something. Yesterday, your phone worked perfectly. Today, an advertisement tells you it's outdated. Yesterday, your clothes looked fine. Today, fashion tells you they're no longer enough. Yesterday, your home felt comfortable. Today, social media convinces you it's too small. Notice how peace disappears the moment comparison enters the room. The wealthiest mindset refuses to rent space to comparison. Instead, it asks one question: does this improve my life or only my image? Those answers are rarely the same. One investment produces confidence. The other produces compliments. Compliments disappear quickly. Confidence stays with you. You know something else successful people rarely spend carelessly on? Constant entertainment. Now don't misunderstand me. There is nothing wrong with enjoying life. Life should absolutely be enjoyed. But there is a difference between rewarding yourself and escaping yourself. Many people spend because they are bored. Others spend because they're stressed. Some spend because they're lonely. Shopping becomes therapy. Luxury becomes medicine. But no purchase can heal a wound that only purpose can fix. The wealthy often spend more time investing in knowledge than in appearances. While others buy expensive accessories, they're buying books. They're learning skills. They're attending seminars. They're asking questions. They're surrounding themselves with people who challenge them to grow because they know one powerful truth: knowledge pays interest forever. Nobody can steal what you've learned. Markets can crash. Businesses can fail. Economies can struggle. But wisdom keeps creating opportunities wherever it goes. Imagine planting two gardens. One is filled with flowers that bloom beautifully for a few weeks. The other is filled with fruit trees that produce year after year. Which garden would you rather own 20 years from now? Many purchases are flowers. Education is a fruit tree. Skills are fruit trees. Character is a fruit tree. Discipline is a fruit tree. The harvest keeps coming long after the excitement fades. Another thing you'll notice about financially wise people is that they don't really confuse price with value. Something expensive isn't automatically valuable, and something inexpensive isn't automatically cheap. Value asks a different question. Will this improve my life over time? That's why some people happily spend thousands learning a new skill, but hesitate before buying. Something flashy they'll forget next month. They understand return on investment. Every dollar should either improve your life or strengthen your future. If it does neither, maybe it doesn't deserve to leave your wallet. One of the greatest financial mistakes people make is believing they deserve every reward immediately. I worked hard. I earned this. I only live once. Those phrases sound harmless. Sometimes they're true, but repeated often enough, they become permission slips for financial disaster. The wealthy think differently. They don't ask what they deserve today. They ask what they want life to look like 10 years from now, because today's discipline becomes tomorrow's freedom. Every wise financial decision is a gift your present self sends to your future self. Imagine meeting yourself 10 years from today. Would that future version thank you or ask why you traded security for temporary excitement? That question has changed many lives. Another secret wealthy people understand is patience. Trees don't grow overnight. Businesses don't become successful overnight. Investments don't multiply overnight. Character doesn't develop overnight. Everything valuable requires time. But today's culture wants instant everything. Instant fame, instant wealth, instant success, instant luxury. Nature has never worked that way. Neither does lasting success. The oak tree that survives the storm spent years strengthening roots nobody ever saw. People admire the tree. Few appreciate the years beneath the soil. Your financial life is no different. Build your roots, strengthen your habits, protect your values. The visible success will eventually follow. And when it does, it won't need to announce itself. People will notice the calm in your decisions, the confidence in your walk, the peace in your home, the freedom in your choices. Because real wealth always reveals itself through peace before possessions. The greatest luxury isn't owning everything. It's needing very little to feel complete. The moment you stop chasing every trend, every opinion, every upgrade, every comparison, and every temptation, something extraordinary happens. Your money finally has room to grow. More importantly, so do you. There comes a point in every person's life when they must answer a question that no bank can answer for them. What does enough look like? Not what the world says is enough. Not what your neighbors say is enough. Not what social media says is enough. What does enough mean to you? Because if you never answer that question, you will spend the rest of your life chasing a finish line that keeps moving farther away. The wealthiest people often understand something that many never discover. Contentment is not the enemy of ambition. Contentment simply means you refuse to sacrifice your peace to satisfy your ego. You can dream bigger. You can work harder. You can build businesses, invest wisely, and create opportunities. But you don't have to prove your worth with every purchase. There is incredible freedom in that. I once heard about a businessman who had every opportunity to buy the biggest house in his city. Everyone expected him to do it. His company was thriving. His income had reached levels most people only dream about. But instead of buying a mansion that would require more maintenance, more staff, more taxes, and more attention, he chose a comfortable home that met his family's needs. Someone asked him, "Why don't you buy something bigger? You can certainly afford it." He smiled and answered, "Because I want my house to serve my family. I don't want my family serving the house." Think about that. Sometimes the things we own slowly begin owning us. A larger home may require longer work hours. A luxury car may require higher monthly payments. A designer lifestyle may require constant pressure to maintain appearances. Soon you're no longer living freely. You're working endlessly to support things that were supposed to make life better. The rich don't spend like that because they understand the hidden cost of excess. Every possession asks something from you. It needs your time, your attention, your energy, your maintenance, your money. That's why wise people don't just ask, "What will this cost me today?" They ask, "What will this continue costing me every year afterward?" That one question has saved countless fortunes. You see, financial freedom is not built by collecting more possessions. It is built by reducing unnecessary burdens. Imagine climbing a mountain. One traveler fills his backpack with everything he can carry because he believes more is always better. Another traveler carefully chooses only what is necessary. As the journey becomes steeper, who reaches the top with greater strength? Life works the same way. Every unnecessary financial burden makes the climb harder. The wealthy often choose simplicity because simplicity creates strength, and strength creates options. One of the greatest lies ever sold is that expensive automatically means successful. Success isn't measured by the logo on your clothes. It isn't measured by the badge on your car. It isn't measured by the size of your watch. Real success is measured by how much control you have over your own life. Can you spend time with your family without worrying about missing a payment? Can you take a day off without fear? Can you help someone in need without borrowing money first? Can you sleep peacefully knowing tomorrow doesn't scare you? Those are the questions that matter. The truly wealthy understand another powerful principle. Money is a tool, not an identity. The moment you begin attaching your self-worth to your possessions, you become a prisoner of those possessions. Because now every scratch feels personal. Every upgrade becomes necessary. Every comparison becomes painful. But when your identity comes from your values instead of your valuables, life changes. You walk differently. You decide differently. You spend differently. You live differently. There is a quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are without needing everyone else to confirm it. That's the kind of confidence money can never buy. And ironically, it's often the confidence that helps people build wealth in the first place. Another reason the rich don't spend recklessly is because they understand opportunity. Every dollar saved today becomes a seed for tomorrow. Most people see money as something to exchange. Wise people see money as something to multiply. Imagine holding one single seed. You could eat it today, or you could plant it. Eating satisfies today. Planting changes tomorrow. Neither choice is wrong, but only one continues giving long after today is over. That is how wealthy people think. They are constantly asking themselves, is this purchase feeding today, or is it growing tomorrow? The answer shapes their future. Never underestimate the power of small decisions. People love dramatic success stories. They imagine fortunes appearing overnight. But behind almost every lasting fortune are thousands of invisible decisions. Skipping unnecessary expenses, investing consistently, avoiding debt, living below their means, learning continuously, remaining patient. None of those choices are exciting in the moment, but together they create extraordinary results. Success is rarely built through one giant decision. It is built through ordinary decisions repeated with extraordinary consistency. Now let me tell you something even more important. Money is not the final goal. Freedom is. Generosity is. Peace is. Purpose is. If becoming wealthy causes you to lose your family, your health, your integrity, or your kindness, then you've paid too high a price. True wealth allows you to become more generous, not more selfish. It gives you the ability to help without hurting yourself, to bless without becoming bitter, to give without fearing tomorrow. That is a beautiful kind of success. Many people spend years trying to impress strangers they'll never meet again. Imagine if they spent those same years building a future their children could inherit. Imagine if they spent that energy creating businesses instead of appearances, learning skills instead of collecting status symbols, building character instead of chasing compliments. The world would look very different. Remember, the loudest room is rarely the strongest room. The strongest foundations are buried underground. Nobody applauds them. Nobody photographs them. Nobody celebrates them. Yet they quietly hold everything together, become like that foundation, strong even when unseen, disciplined even when nobody is watching, faithful even when nobody understands your choices. Because one day, people will look at your life and call you lucky. They won't see the weekends you stayed home instead of spending. They won't see the temptations you resisted. They won't see the sacrifices you made. They'll only see the harvest. But you will know the truth. You planted seeds when others were collecting trophies. You built roots while others chased attention. You chose wisdom when the crowd chose appearances. And that decision changed everything. The journey we've shared today isn't really about money. It's about choices. Because every dollar you earn carries a question. Will you spend it to impress people who may forget you tomorrow? Or will you use it to build a future that will protect the people you love for years to come? That choice belongs to you. The rich don't spend like this, not because they're afraid to enjoy life. They simply understand that every financial decision either buys a moment or builds a legacy. Moments are beautiful, but legacies change generations. Never let the world convince you that success must always be visible. Some of the strongest people you'll ever meet don't wear expensive watches. They don't drive the newest cars. They don't chase attention every single day. Instead, they quietly invest. They quietly learn. They quietly prepare. And while others are busy trying to look successful, they are becoming successful. Remember this for the rest of your life. Luxury is not the ability to buy everything. Luxury is waking up without financial fear. Luxury is having time for your family. Luxury is saying no to work because you don't desperately need another paycheck. Luxury is helping someone without wondering whether you'll have enough left for yourself. Luxury is sleeping peacefully because your future has been built with wisdom instead of impulse. That kind of wealth never goes out of style. There will always be people who judge your decisions. Some will laugh because you still drive an older car. Some will question why you don't wear the latest brands. Some will wonder why you're careful with your money even after your income grows. Let them wonder. They are watching today's chapter while you're writing the ending of your story. Don't confuse noise with progress. The loudest lifestyle isn't always the strongest one. The brightest spotlight doesn't always shine on the happiest person. Many people are smiling in public while silently drowning in private. Choose peace over performance. Choose wisdom over applause. Choose freedom over appearance. And most importantly, choose patience over pressure. Your future is being built by the small decisions you make today. Every unnecessary expense you avoid, every investment you make, every skill you learn, every debt you refuse, every disciplined choice you repeat, they are all laying bricks for a life that cannot be shaken. One day, someone may ask you how you became financially secure. They'll expect you to reveal one secret, one lucky break, one magical investment, but you'll know the truth. It wasn't one decision. It was thousands of ordinary decisions made with extraordinary consistency. You didn't become wealthy by pretending. You became wealthy by preparing. You didn't become successful by copying everyone else. You became successful by staying true to principles that never go out of style. Always remember this. Money is a wonderful servant. It is a terrible master. Make your money work for your dreams instead of forcing your dreams to work for your money. Build a life where your income creates opportunities, not anxiety. Build a future where your children inherit wisdom before they inherit wealth, because money without wisdom disappears. But wisdom has a remarkable way of creating money again and again. As you leave this moment, I want you to carry one thought deep within your heart. The world will always tempt you to spend more than you should. It will always tell you that happiness is one purchase away. Don't believe it. Happiness grows from purpose. Peace grows from discipline. Freedom grows from patience. And true wealth grows from the quiet choices nobody applauds today, but everyone admires. Tomorrow, years from now, when others wonder how you built such a strong, peaceful, and meaningful life, you'll smile. Not because you were the smartest person in the room, not because you were the luckiest, but because you understood one timeless truth. The rich don't spend like this because they know that every dollar is a seed, every habit is a foundation, and every wise decision is another step toward a future where you own your time, protect your family, and live with dignity instead of debt. So walk away today with a different mindset. Spend less to impress. Save more to succeed. Invest more to grow. Learn more to lead. Give more when you're able. And never measure your life by what people see. Measure it by the peace you feel when you close your eyes at night. knowing you are building something that will outlive you. May your wealth be quiet. May your character be loud. May your legacy be greater than your lifestyle. And may every decision you make from this day forward bring you one step closer to the freedom you've always dreamed of. If this message spoke to your heart, don't let it end here. Apply just one lesson today. One small decision, repeated consistently, has the power to transform your entire future. Your best financial life doesn't begin when you earn more. It begins the moment you start thinking differently. Thank you for listening. And remember, the greatest riches are not found in what you own, but in the wisdom that guides what you choose.